I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Elected officials behaving badly. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you go to your old Google bar, just type in Jim Lucas OWI and you hit enter. This is what pops up. Indiana GOP Representative Jim Lucas pleads guilty to 2. Representative Jim Lucas sentenced after OWI arrest. Representative Jim Lucas avoids jail time in plea deal for drunk. Body cam of Representative Jim Lucas OWI arrest. I'm going to give you another one just for example. We're going to get rid of Jim Lucas and we're going to type in former Fort Wayne Mayor Tom Henry OWI and we're going to hit enter. Fort Wayne Mayor Tom Henry sentenced after OWI arrest. Court documents reveal Fort Wayne Mayor Tom Henry. Video, Mayor Tom Henry tells arresting officers, "You all work for me." Remember this? We talked about this on the program here. All of this information is very easy to find. I'm going to type a name in that you guys may or may not know, but we're going to get familiar with him here. Type in the name Beau Baird, OWI. Nothing about OWI. Greater Lafayette News. Okay, there's nothing. Yeah, he's not in this. Beau Baird, Greencastle Republican author. There's nothing in here about Beau Baird and an OWI. Now, who is Beau Baird, you might ask? Well, Beau Baird, ladies and gentlemen, is a state representative of District 44, Crawfordsville, Greencastle. Here we are. All right, this is his area. He first took office on election night in November of 2018. As we've said here before, and a lot of people don't know this, Beau Baird and all the other state representatives, when they are elected in November, they are then sworn in at midnight, and they all become state representatives from that point through the term. So he ran in May of 2018 and in November of 2018, and he won. He had a primary challenger, Jess Norton, and then in the general, Kimberly Fiddler was his challenger. I wonder if his challenger knew that he had an OWI in June of 2018. Here's the thing. There were a lot of people involved in this situation. What's interesting is, and what might have helped hide this from the public, is the fact that they had his middle name wrong by one letter. And now that's not necessarily his fault. Former State Senator Jim Merritt and Abdul Hakim Shabazz was talking to Rob Kendall the other day, and Abdul was saying, and obviously clear, there's a difference between someone who purposefully tries to hide information or someone who just doesn't inform on themselves. Now, in my opinion, when you're running for office, they're both bad. They're both very bad. Okay. One is, in my opinion, different than the other. But I have to wonder how far into this thing was Beau. I mean, he goes by the name Beau. Okay. Jason is his first name, but he goes by Beau. And when they have him in the documents as Jason Bean Baird, so instead of the U, they wrote an N. In my opinion, he would have known this. Like, I don't understand. I know when someone spells my name wrong and they call me Chris and spell it with a CH, I instantly notice this. So he doesn't go by Jason. He goes by Beau. I mean, when he was in court, did he think like, oh, well, they're calling me Bean. I'll just run by Bean. And we're going to look through these official filings. Before we do that, to show you because someone could say, well, wait a minute. This is just somebody they arrested named Jason Bean Baird. It's not Beau Baird. It's not Beau. I'm going to show you this. If we go to Beau Baird's Facebook page and we take a look at this. All right, here's his birthday. It's up on the screen. So there's where his birthday is. I'm wanting to show that so I'm not getting people saying, oh, look, you're putting out, this is two different people. This is just more than likely a Scribner's error, but this works in his favor, right? Because when they see Jason Bean Baird, now Jason Bean Baird has date of birth of 5/22/81. That's this gentleman. He's got an address in Greencastle. We see prosecuting attorney for the 23rd Judicial Circuit, State of Indiana, informs that on or about June 22nd, Tippecanoe County, State of Indiana, Jason Bean Baird, it's Beau, did operate a vehicle while intoxicated. Count 2, operating with a vehicle of blood alcohol content of 0.08 or more. And they have it's 0.136 here on the side. Disregarding a stop sign. Okay, here's the police report. And here they just call him Jason Baird. So now the name is not, it's just Jason Baird. That could be anybody. While on patrol for the Lafayette Police Department, I Officer C. Smith was traveling toward McCarty Lane on Main Street from Sagamore Parkway when I observed a silver Ford F-150 disregard a stop sign. The driver was traveling west on McCarty Lane and turned right onto Main Street without stopping at the posted stop sign. I then initiated my traffic stop on the vehicle near the intersection. Making contact with the driver identified as Jason Baird by his Indiana driver's license, he advised me he and his friend had just left Danzers. While speaking to Jason, I could smell the odor of an alcoholic beverage coming from him. I also observed his eyes to be glassy and slightly bloodshot. I then asked Jason to complete some field sobriety tests to ensure that he was okay to drive. Jason consented and complied with the test. It should be noted that Jason advised he had a few mixed drinks, Crown and Coke, while at Danzers. The first test I gave Jason was the horizontal gaze nystagmus test. Jason did not pass this test. Jason had lack of smooth pursuit in both eyes. He had distinct and sustained nystagmus at maximum deviation in both eyes. Jason had also had onset of nystagmus prior to 45 degrees in both eyes. The second test I gave Jason was the one-leg stand test. Jason passed this test only exhibiting the clue that he put his left foot down. The third and final test I gave Jason was the walk and turn test. Jason did not pass this test. Jason could not balance during the instructions phase of this test, did not stand in the correct position after being told to do so. Jason turned improperly. Jason missed several heel-to-toe steps. Jason also took the wrong number of steps. I then asked Jason if he would take a PBT, to which he asked for a blood draw. I explained I wanted him to take the PBT so I had an estimate of his level of intoxication. Jason consented and took the PBT, to which it read he had a blown and BAC of 0.15. I then read Jason Indiana's implied consent. Jason consented to a blood draw at St. Elizabeth Hospital. I then placed Jason in handcuffs behind the back, gapped and double locked, for transportation to the hospital. Upon arrival, we went to the ER room where we were assisted by RN Kayla Vigera. A registration staff came into the room to ask Jason if he consented to the treatment, to which he advised he did not. Carla then asked Jason to sign the consent to draw his blood, to which he took a while to read the document. Jason then signed the document, but after crossing out the words voluntary. Throughout the document, when asked why, Jason advised that it's because he was handcuffed and did not feel was voluntarily there and was not being voluntarily treated, having his blood drawn. I then read Jason Indiana's implied consent again, to which he advised he would consent, but not voluntarily. I then contacted the shift command and advised the situation. As Jason advised he would not voluntarily sign the form, the consent was then determined we needed to apply a search warrant. I then contacted Judge Moore and advised him of the situation. I then filled out the OWI search warrant and probable cause affidavit and faxed it to Judge Moore. Judge Moore then granted the search warrant and faxed it back to the hospital, at which point it was read at 4:50 a.m. Under observation, Carla then drew Jason's blood at 4:57 a.m. and took a sample of the urine from Jason at 5:05 a.m. I was told by Carla the result of the chemical test was an alcohol concentration equivalent to 0.136 grams of alcohol per 100 milliliters of blood. Such test was administered by drawing a sample of the whole blood at 4:57 a.m. I was told by Carla the result of the chemical test determined that Jason had no controlled substance in his body. Such a test was administered by taking a sample of urine at 5:05 a.m. drawn by Carla. Upon receiving the results, I advised Jason he was under arrest for the above charges and then transported him to the Tippecanoe County Jail for remand. Upon arrival, Jason was remanded to the jail custody without incident. Jason was given a receipt for his license, and I seized his driver's license. Jason was also issued a citation for disregarding the stop sign at McCarty and Main Streets. The vehicle Jason was driving was towed to Jim's garage, and due to it being on the roadway, Jason being arrested as well as the passenger was too drunk to drive away, an inventory was taken and will be attached to the case. The Indiana Department of Toxicology blood draw kit was packaged and sealed. I then mailed the kit by placing it in the USPS mailbox located at the corner of 6th and Columbia Streets. The document in which Jason had signed consent but crossed out the words voluntary has been attached to this case as well to show his refusal to consent voluntarily. He was formally charged by the prosecutor's office, which you can see those here. And then you can see where a plea agreement, judgment of conviction, sentencing order was put forward as Jason Baird. $500 plus court cost, $500 fine is suspended upon compliance with all terms. 60 days in imprisonment, 0 days shall be executed. Probation, 364 days, unsupervised. And it was all signed on the 7th day of August, 2019. So, the whole time this was going on, I wonder if they were dragging this out because he wanted this to happen after he was in office. So, again, this is something that has happened where this man received this arrest for OWI. Did his constituents get a chance to know this when they went to vote? Was his driver's license suspended? Were they not suspended? I'm very interested to know that. They should have been. Since he refused implied consent, and since they had to get the search warrant, his license should have been suspended for 1 year. Period. My whole thing is, again, look, does having an OWI arrest mean that you're a demon? No. Does it mean you're a bad person? No. I mean, does it mean that you did something stupid? Yes. Does he have a problem? I don't know. Was he just out and made a stupid choice? Very likely. But his constituents should have had the chance to know about this. And if he's hiding this through omission before being elected, then what is he going to do once he's elected? Just thought that this might be important to talk about. Thought that it might be important for folks to know. Maybe the constituents of District 44 will take it into consideration this time. I'm interested if his opponent knew about this. Obviously, his opponent didn't know about it because there's not been any other talk. He did have an opponent. Now, he's not had an opponent any of the other times he's ran. And did that happen because of how easily he won in 2018? Because the constituents didn't have all the information to share? It's not just one. It's not just yours. It's all of them. there is an issue here in the state of Indiana with these elected officials. It's not just local, it's not just federal, it's the state level, it's all of them. There's issues here. And until we start holding these people accountable, we're going to deal with more and more and more of this nonsense out of these people. Jason Bean, Beau Baird, what do you have to say about this? We're going to find out tomorrow. I have a phone number to him directly, so I will call, see if he has anything to say to me about this, and I will let you guys know. Maybe all Indiana voters will want to know if he happens to ever run for U.S. Senate or congressional seats out of Indiana's U.S. congressional districts here. Yeah, absolutely. It's very important. People need to know this. I'm not as concerned with the OWI. I'm more concerned with how no one knew about this. I'm not as concerned with the OWI. I'm concerned how, again, no one knew anything about this in all of this time. And the only reason this came out is because the Michael Bohachik OWI came out, and now it's all... I believe that what we'll do is we're going to start seeing all of these bad missteps start to bleed out from everybody because it's all going to be happening. I'm here for it. Send me any of that stuff, anything that you have like this on any of these elected officials. Do not wait. Do not delay. Send them to me. Start today. There's the email. khbillbree@gmail.com or tpsprogram@gmail.com. You can send them to either one. It'll get to us, and we'll go from there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. Take care. God bless. Goodbye.